Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another story in the Read Aloud series. I'm Miss Henry from the Elmwood Park Branch Library. Excited to be here. I found something fun. It's called Cosmo and the Robot. Yep. Let's see what happens with Cosmo and the Robot. It's written by Brian Pinkney. All right, so close or open those eyes, whichever you rather. Just open the imagination and let's dive in. Cosmo and the Robot. Rex was Cosmo's best friend. Okay, so here we have Cosmo. So this must be Rex. And where do you think they live, guys? Does it look like where we live? Does it look like earth with green grass and stuff like that, trees? Looks like a different landscape, but let's read on more to see what's going on. So Rex, we know, was Cosmo's best friend. Rex was a gentle robot, afraid of his own shadow, and Cosmo liked him that way. Rex was not like Cosmo's big sister Joel, who bossed him around. So there's Rex, and we know that Rex is a gentle robot, and Cosmo likes him to be gentle. There's Joel. That's Cosmo's big sister, who he says is bossy. Is your big sister bossy? Mine isn't. But one day, Rex bumped his head and started acting like a monster. Cosmo's mother examined Rex and told Cosmo that Rex was broken for good. Oh dear. So Cosmo's father hauled Rex to the asteroid dump. It's for the best, said his mother. So long, clunker, said Joel. But Cosmo was sad. He knew that life on Mars would never be the same. So now we know where they're living, guys. They are living on Mars. And there is Cosmo being hauled away. Not Cosmo, Rex, I'm sorry, being hauled away to the asteroid dump because he was no longer working. Cosmo is sad. Does this look like their house? Their home on Mars? What do you guys know about Mars? You can always email me and let me know what you know about Mars. Let's see what happens here. To cheer him up, to cheer Cosmo up, Cosmo's parents gave Cosmo a super solar system utility belt with 10 supersonic attachments. Cosmo took apart Joel's Easy Bake Oven with a Saturn ring screwdriver. You're a pain, Comet Head, yelled Joel. Give me back my Saturn ring screwdriver, said Cosmo. Does it sound like somebody's little brother? Do you have a little brother who does stuff like that? Gets into your things? There is Cosmo trying to get back his screwdriver from Joel. Kids, please, said Cosmo's mother. I can't hear myself think, exclaimed Cosmo's father. So Cosmo and Joel were sent to Zone 5 to collect rocks for an alpha proton experiment. I don't want any dilly-dallying, warned their mother. And Joel, you keep an eye on Cosmo, said their father. So their mom and dad, who seemed to be working on some kind of experiment there on Mars, and to have a little peace in the house, they sent them to Zone 5 to collect some rocks for an experiment. So here, they're looking at a rock here. So they're probably trying to find out what happens with the rocks on Mars. Collecting rocks is so boring, said Joel. I don't know why we had to come to this stupid planet anyway. Do we have to bring that dumb belt with you everywhere you go? Oh, she's talking to Cosmo. I don't know, said Cosmo. Cosmo just said, I don't know. He's off with Joel to collect rocks. She's not happy. She thinks it's boring and she doesn't like living on Mars. Would you want to live on Mars? Cosmo and Jewel come across an abandoned terrain rover. Cosmo started taking it apart with his mercury magneto wrench. So he's big into taking things apart now, because sometimes when we take things apart, that's how we see how they're put together and then we understand how they work. So Cosmo is taking apart this terrain wrench, this terrain rover. Come on, Space Cadet, let's go. Do you have to play with junk all the time? Asked Jewel. I don't know, said Cosmo. He saved the nuts and bolts in his Neptune specimen bag. So he's a curious boy. He took it apart and he saved the nuts and bolts. He figures he could probably use them another time. Look, I can't take this babysitting stuff. I know where the best rocks are, said Joel. You wait here and I'll be back in a little while. Cosmo examined the sockets and caps with his Uranus ultra magnifying glass. He's busy. And Joel wants to get the rocks and get back home. Cosmo finished pulling apart the terrain rover, but Joel did not come back, and it would be dark soon. After a while, Cosmo took out his Pluto Maxiscope binoculars to look for Joel. He has every gadget, doesn't he? So he finished taking apart the rover, and now he's looking around. Where could his sister be? It's getting dark on Mars. They need to get back to their Mars house. When Cosmo zoomed in, remember he was using his Pluto Maxiscope binoculars, he saw Joel in the asteroid dump running from a big scary robot. It was Rex. There's Rex chasing Joel. They're in the asteroid dump where he threw all the things away, all those robots that don't work anymore. Rex was chasing Joel. Cosmo raced to the dump, crouched near a boulder, and checked his gear. Now remember, he has so many different gadgets in that kit that he got from his parents. He could hear Joel yelling, "Leave me alone, you big metal mouth!" So round and round they go. There's Rex, and he's chasing Joel, and Joel is saying, "Leave me alone, you big metal mouth!" And there's Cosmo. Cosmo is trying to understand what's going on. Cosmo called Rex on his Venus antenna speakerphone. "Rex, stop, it's me, Cosmo, your friend." But Rex didn't stop. He has every gadget he needs in his kit. But Rex didn't recognize his voice. Rex didn't stop. And remember, that's why he had to give up Rex, because Rex kind of he started to act strangely. Cosmo pulled out his Jupiter coil cable and tried to lasso Rex, but Rex was too strong. So he pulled out another tool from his kit. He tried to lasso Rex, but Rex just held on to it. Rex was too strong. That Jupiter coil cable did not help. Just as Rex lunged for Joel, Cosmo made a huge dinosaur head using his hand and his sun laser beam flashlight. A scary shadow. Rex started to tremble. He stepped backward and fell. Kaboom! So guess what? With all the fancy gadgets that Cosmo had in his kit, not one of them worked. You know what he used? His hand and a flashlight to make that dinosaur shadow. And when Rex saw it, he trembled. He stepped backward and he fell. Boom! What do you think is going to happen next? He's fallen. Thanks, Muffin Head. Guess who that was? Said Joel. You saved my life. Let's get out of here. Why are you just standing there? Come on. I'm thinking, said Cosmo. There is Rex. Kaboom! He fell. He broke into all those different pieces. And Cosmo is thinking. What could Cosmo be thinking? We know he liked to take things apart, and we know that he really missed Rex. What do you think he's going to do, guys? Don't touch that. What are you doing? Asked Joel. I'm fixing Rex, said Cosmo. Cut that out. That looks dangerous. Do you know what you're doing? Asked Joel. I think so, said Cosmo. So now we have Cosmo saying, I think so. Remember before he kept saying, I don't know. But now, he thought about it and he says, I think I know what I'm doing. Cosmo used one of his tools. It's the Earth Electro-Optic Pliers. So Cosmo used his Earth Electric Optic Pliers and the nuts and the bolts from the Neptune specimen bag. You really look good at this, said Joel. Let me help. So now that Joel sees that her brother seems to kind of know what he's doing, she says, okay, I'll help. Will Rex be good as new? Asked Joel. I hope so, said Cosmo. There they are. Look, started to put all the things together, and now they're putting Rex's robot head on. When Rex stood up and put Cosmo on his back, Cosmo was so happy he let Joel hold his Mars micro radar homing device. Cosmo, Joel, and Rex headed for home, collecting rocks as they went. So once they put the head on him, got all the other pieces back together, Rex was good as new. He stood up and we have the gentle Rex back. He put Cosmo on his back. And Cosmo was so elated, so happy, he let Joel hold one of his gadgets, the Mars micro radar homing device. And they collected rocks as they made their way home. Wait until Mom and Dad see Rex. I'm going to tell them how you fixed him. When we get home, will you fix my Easy Bake Oven? Asked Joel. Sure, said Cosmo. There they are. She's even holding Rex's hand. And Cosmo knew that life on Mars would be better than ever, now that his friend Rex was back. Okay. Their Mom and Dad waiting for them to come home. Can you see? And now Cosmo is happy again because Rex is back. Rex the robot. The end. All right. So that was good. This was a little taste of life on Mars with Cosmo and his friend Rex the robot. And there's a whole list in this book of the different gadgets that came with the Super Solar System utility belt. Remember, we had the sun laser beam flashlight, the mercury magneto wrench. There was a speakerphone that he tried to speak to Rex through. The Earth electro-optic pliers that he used to take apart the Neptune object that was there. They had the Mars micro radar homing device that they used to track their way home. The Jupiter coil cable, the Saturn ring screwdriver, the Uranus ultra magnifying glass, the Neptune specimen bag, and the Pluto maxiscope binoculars. All these things were included in his Super Solar System utility belt. Yeah, that was cool. So he got that because Rex was damaged, but he was able to use a lot of the different things so that he could put Rex back together. So, Cosmo and the Robot Life on Mars by Brian Pinkney. Hope you enjoyed that. See you again for another in the Read Aloud series. Bye, friends. Bye.